Hi, everybody. Kwe, my name is Kara. I am the In.Business Program Coordinator with Unama'ki College and Cape Breton University. And we're excited for our event tonight if you're joining us. And I'm going to get started by asking Keanu to please, could you do the land acknowledgement for us?
I would like to begin by acknowledging that we are in Mi'kmaq, the ancestral and unceded territory of the Mi'kmaq people. This territory is covered by the treaties of peace and friendship, which Mi'kmaq and Maliseet people first signed with the British Crown in 1725. The treaties did not deal with the surrender of lands and resources, but in fact recognized Mi'kmaq and Maliseet title and established the rules for what was to be an ongoing relationship between nations. We would also like to acknowledge the land of our guest speaker, Mike Scott, who is joining us remotely from Saskatchewan, which is on Treaty 6 territory and the homeland of the Métis.
Métis.
I'm not too sure if I said that right. Métis?
Métis.
Métis. We pay our respect to the First Nations and Métis ancestors of this land and thank Mike for joining us today.
Great job, Keanu. And then we're going to just pass it on to the lovely Lacey. And we're going to get Lacey just to tell everybody here a little bit of what is In.Business. What is the In.Business program? Why are we all here? Besides to hear the awesomeness of Mike Scott. Go ahead, Lacey.
Sorry if I stumble upon my words.
Okay. We're all here to support you.
In.Business is a national mentorship program for Indigenous youth, and it provides the opportunity for young leaders to work with Indigenous business mentors. This program facilitates a business learning environment that sparks the imaginations of our young people about where a career in business can take and the positive impact. Business is the engine for enriching the lives of our people and our community, and a new generation of In.Business. Shoot. Oh, I didn't mean to swear. I did not mean to swear. I just stuttered. I missed the line.
That's okay.
A new generation of Indigenous business leaders is the fuel to In.Business program. I helps provide the spark. I screwed it up. Sorry.
Hey,
Try
man.
my best.
Don't even worry about it. Like that is, and I threw that at Lacey like right last minute. So you did a great job. Don't even worry about it. You both did.
I'm also blind, so.
Well, I am just going to, without further ado, introduce Mike Scott. I'm so excited that Mike could be here with us today because I saw Mike speak, I think it was like 2014. It was a while ago, and I had just moved to Grand Prairie and I was only ever around Mi'kmaq and Maliseet people. And so I went to this Aboriginal summit and there were just so many people from so many different nations and it was incredible. And Mike got up and he started speaking and just floored me because your experience was just awesome. And I swear, you told me it was your second speech. So just imagine that. You've done like 600 cents. So I'd take over, Mike. Tell us all about yourself.
All right. Well, first off, just want to say thank you to Kara and to everybody else, the people who introduced. And it's okay to mess up sometimes, by the way, there. It happens to the best of us. I'm just grateful for the opportunity to share a little bit about my life. I'm just going to quickly go through things that I've been through because we're pretty short on time. We only have about till 5 p.m. my time. Do you mind if I go right into the slides? Is that cool? Okay. Can you guys see my screen? Thumbs up real fast. All right. I'm going to stop my video because it kind of just distracts from all of the slides, but I will be on. All right. I don't know how to get this thing down here. How do I? There we go. Okay. So this is Sitting Bull, and he is a person who really helped shape the way that people view warriors in Saskatchewan. He migrated from the United States down to Canada, and he has a pretty amazing story if you have time to just look it up. But one of his quotes that he says, basically, I took from it is to just protect those who can't protect themselves, you know, to stand up for the betterment of others. So one of the most important things, weird here. Sorry. So finding the warrior within, I believe that every single one of us has a warrior inside of us, and it's that voice that tells you to keep moving forward no matter what you're going through in life, because no matter what position you have, what role, where you are, age, sex, race, it doesn't matter. We're all going to have moments in our lives where we feel like giving up. And that's where that voice will come in. It'll tell you, Agamegmo, keep moving forward and never give up on yourself. That's all I want to do, is bring that out of you guys today. So we have to take a look back at where we come from as Indigenous people. And there's so many different tribes all across Turtle Island, both Canada and the United States. And we all have a home. We have a territory of our own to call our home. And within those territories are the teachings and the knowledge that's been passed down for millennia. So before I share my story, we have to look at, what kind of things were going on before Europeans arrived on this continent. And everybody played a role. The elders passed down their knowledge to the young ones. It's a custom in many cultures for the elders to raise those young kids for the first few years of their lives. And our warriors, they were always protecting and providing. Our mothers were always showing that love and, those really important teachings of how to become a woman and take care of yourself. And everybody plays a role inside that community to ensure the survival of it. Where I come from over here in Treaty 6 in Saskatoon, it gets really cold during the winter time. So if you can imagine living in minus 60 weather with a wind chill, just being able to survive in a teepee throughout the winter. It takes a lot of hard work and dedication from everybody in the community to make that possible. There's a lot of things that happen, over the years. And this is one of those things I feel is like the most important thing to look back on to understand why we are the way we are today. I'm pretty sure many of you guys already know about residential schools, so I'm not going to get too deep into that. But I had no idea about residential schools up until about 2008 or 7, I can't remember. Whenever the public apology was made from Stephen Harper, and my mom broke down crying, and all of that trauma and everything that she endured within these schools came rushing back to her, and it really overwhelmed her because of all the terrible things that happened to her within these buildings. So I didn't even have to be inside of a residential school to feel the effects of it. We have that intergenerational trauma, they call it. So if you can imagine being a small child and being forcefully taken from your home, forced into a new religion, and just placed into a building that isn't full of love or culture or anything that those things can really affect you. So my parents both attended these schools. They both didn't have a really good upbringing. My mom lost her mother to suicide when she was just a little girl. She was only 6 years old when she passed away. So I never had the opportunity to meet my grandma. And she fell into a really dark spiral. Her life basically ended up turning her into an alcoholic, the choices she was making. And my father is a really manly man type. He has a hard time expressing how he feels. And most of the time he'll express himself only when he's drunk. And it's sad to see my father walk down a really dark path. And I had to realize it took a long time for me to understand that I could never change my dad. I could never change his life for him. He's the only person who can do that. But I don't give up on him. So they suppressed their emotions, and it led them towards addictions. And this is what a lot of people do. They don't like to talk about how they feel. They're uncomfortable. They're not sure who to talk to, who to trust. So the more you suppress things inside, the more likely you are to pick something or any type of addiction up to cover that pain of what you're going through. And it affects the little people around you. This is me when I was a kid, and I look happy, I'm smiling, but I'm in a different foster home in these pictures. I remember being 5 years old and being taken away from my mom. She got brutally beaten up by her boyfriend at the time. She got burnt on the back of her leg with an iron and caused third-degree burns. So that was my first memory, middle of the night being taken to this building right here. And this is the place where they take kids and put them before they get put into an actual foster home. And since I've been a kid, there's 20 more of these houses in my city alone. So I was in over 30 foster homes as a kid. That does a lot to a small person, feeling neglected, abandoned, confused, angry, frustrated, lost, hopeless, depressed, hurt, and alone. When you feel like nobody cares about you, that's when it really messes you up. and you start to change your view on the world. And the really sad thing about foster care is that the majority of kids all across this country, the majority of kids in care right now today are Native kids, but we make up less than 10% of the entire population of Canada, all Indigenous tribes combined. So it's not just happening, you know, this is a system that was designed and set in place for us to be held back from succeeding in life. This is only 47 of the houses I've lived in Saskatoon. I've lived in other towns, other, you know, reserves, other places. I actually just moved into my new house about a month ago. So I'm always constantly moving. And one of the things that I feel like children deserve is to have stability in their life, to have love and affection and trust and a healthy environment where they're able to grow and flourish and, you know, express themselves freely and to just be, you know, carefree as kids should be. And that's not what I had. So I was dying on the inside like this rose on the right. But I wanted what I saw other kids had, you know, family, love, all those good things I wish I had. I was told negative things, you know, you're stupid, you're ugly, you don't matter, you'll never amount to anything. You're nothing but a bad kid, Mike. Or so many people just sending me to live with somebody else because they thought I was bad. But inside I was just hurt and I didn't know how to say I was hurt. So when eventually I came back to my family, I started living with my dad. He took custody of me, and my mom was a very bad alcoholic at this time. Now she was drinking Listerine and hairspray and, you know, just really destroying her body and her life. So I started living with my dad, and that's where a lot of the negativity came back to my life because I was now surrounded by addiction and prostitutes and gangs and violence and all of these negative things in this area that I was now living. And to top it off, peer pressure was there. I wanted to fit in. Everywhere I've been, I've always been the class clown because, you know, I want people to like me and to be around me. And I'm afraid to make new friends because I feel like someday they're going to leave like they always have. So I'm dealing with a lot of abandonment issues, and that leads me towards, you know, being easily peer pressured because I want to fit in so much. So my older cousin is the role model that I looked up to. And whether we like it or not, you know, we're somebody's role model. So we have to be careful about, you know, the things that we say or do because those little people look up to us and they want to be just like us. So he introduced me to weed. I know that it's legal now, you know, but we'll get into that a little bit. But the first time I smoked weed, I was only like 10 years old, 11 years old, maybe. I can't remember, one of those two. And the feeling it gave me was like, it just broke me from all my problems. I stopped worrying about everything. But I didn't realize in that moment was when I started suppressing my emotions like my parents did before me. Every time I was high, you know, every time I was going through something like that, I would go and get high. And then I became an addict to it. There's pros and cons to it. You know, if you grow up in poverty, if you have a choice between getting something to eat that day and, you know, smoking weed, and if you choose weed and starve yourself, then it can become a problem. And a lot of the people I know are broke and they're spending all their money on weed. So that's where I see the issues, is when it becomes, you know, your priority more than anything else in your life. And you got to feed it. So I couldn't make money, you know, I couldn't get a job. I was 10, 11 years old. So I started stealing, broke into houses. I used to walk around with knives and stab people, and just really reckless and crazy the first, you know, preteen years of my life. At the age of 11, my cousin asked me if I would get high with him. And I said, yeah, I thought we were gonna go get high with weed. And he ended up sticking a needle into my arm at the age of 11 and it injected me with this drug, and it almost killed me. And I don't like sharing this story, but I do because of the importance of how fast your life can change and how fast your life can be taken away from you. So I want to share a quick video with you guys just to show you, you know, my side of the story from my sister's point of view.
Wake up in the morning when the sun's still shining. I can feel your love in your face, keep smiling. No one take your place and you always remind me. Even in the dark, your love will still find me. You will find me. You remind me. Keep smiling and the sun keeps shining. Wake up in the morning when the sun's still shining. I can feel your love in your face, keep smiling. No one take your place and you always remind me. Even in the dark, your love will still find me. Wake up in the morning when the sun's still shining. I can feel your love in your face, keep smiling. No one take your place and you always remind me. Even in the dark, your love will still find me.
They keep on pointing fingers, but little do they know. Would anybody miss her if they found her all alone? Just lost another sister, yeah, we found her all alone. This is what can happen when you come from broken homes. I wanna go home, but I ain't even got a home. I'm feeling all alone when the cold wind blows. The seasons keep on changing, but the cycles stay the same. Sisters on the block with the needle in the veins. Brothers getting locked from the cops, it doesn't change. I could drink another bottle, but the pain will still remain. Waiting for the rain to come and wash away the shame. Praying every day with my sprinkles and my sage. Yeah, we might be hurting, but we're fighting for a change. Sisters may be gone, but the smiles will remain. The spirit will live on until the day we meet again. Until the moment comes, keep your head up and say,
wake up in the morning when the sun's still shining. I can feel your love in your face, keep smiling. No one take your place and you always remind me. Even in the dark, your love will still find me. Wake up in the morning when the sun's still shining. I can feel your love in your face, keep smiling. No one take your place and you always remind me. Even in the dark, your love will still find me. They see struggle and wonder why they walk past. They paint a picture of you, but they paint the wrong mask. They don't see the truth, the reason why the way you move. Broken on the inside, but you dancing like you're made to do. All they see is bottles of problems, ignore the pain. These people need to change, this happened way back in the day. Taken from our families, taught to what a man should be. Praying for our sisters, lots of chance for our family. It's funny how they pointing fingers, we the ones to blame. Take away your names, give us numbers in a chain. Fathers, they just pray for peace, but taking we unfaithfully and paying we. Saying we are sorry for the pain you've seen. Here's a check for me, fallen may you rest in peace. You step for me, in the direction to resurrect the peace. We are no longer broken, an unheard voice. Hands up, let's rejoice, we are here to bring the noise. Wake up in the morning when the sun's still shining. I can feel your love in your face, keep smiling. No one take your place and you always remind me. Even in the dark, your love will still find me. Wake up in the morning when the sun's still shining. I can feel your love in your face, keep smiling. No one take your place and you always remind me. Even in the dark, your love will still find me. You will find me. Remind me, keep smiling, and the sun keeps shining.
So that song that I created there with my brother is about, not just the overdose that so many people in my own family and other people that I know, but it's also, awareness for missing and murdered women. And I feel like it's an important part of learning because just that one moment in my life changed so much. I could have chose a whole different path, I have one older living sibling and she's the first one out of all my brothers and sisters to live to be only 37. All my other sisters have died over the years from drug overdoses. And it's really hard to, imagine what life could have been for them if they had made different choices. So I just want you guys to think about that. If anybody ever offers you the opportunity to take that path, just remember that it's filled with a lot of, sadness and a lot of grief and desperation even. My sister has been living with HIV for over 10 years of her life. And it's sad to say she probably won't live to see 50 just from the effects of all those drugs. So even like something as simple, not even as needles, but something as simple as alcohol can really change your life. I got drunk one night with my cousin And, this was a normal thing for us. We'd sip on alcohol and get high and, go walk around and rob people. And one night we decided, these two boys, we were going to go and rob them. I'm not going to get into details of the story, but we beat them so bad to the point where they were on life support. They were in the intensive care unit. And I just turned 12, so I was now able to go to prison. The detective came to the school, questioned me, eventually got it out of me. I ratted on myself. And I got sent to jail for almost 2 years of my life. And that was a turning point for me to, never ever especially want to go back to jail just because of how, boring it is inside of these places. But just the way like you're treated like an animal almost. They tell you when to sleep, when to wake up, when you can eat, when you can go outside and get fresh air. Like if you love your freedom, then, just be as best as you can be in this life and, do your best to never hurt other people in any way, shape, or form, because you'll end up in a place like this and it's not fun. And statistically speaking, again, these institutions all across the country are mainly populated by Indigenous people. So we're going from residential school to foster care to the prison system. And I'm proud to say I haven't went back to jail since I was released back in 2003. I can't remember when I was out, but it's been a long time. And that's pretty awesome that I've never went back. I did go back, but I stood on the outside of the fence. I said a prayer for, all the young men and the young women that are in gangs, that are locked up, that are lost, that are looking for their place in this life. And, I pray that they find themselves, and I pray that people don't judge them too hard because they don't realize the pressures that they're under and circumstances in which they're living. A lot of these young people don't really have anywhere to go, no one to love or care about them, so they find that family within these gangs. And someday they will find themselves. When I was released, I started going to high school and my mom finally sobered up. But my sister messed up her life now and she got sent to jail for 4 years. So we started raising her kids. In high school, there's a lot of different things. Nowadays, there's a lot of online stuff that's happening. There's peer pressure, bullying, cyberbullying, alienating, fitting in, judgment, gossip and rumors. And it sucks that gossip and rumors don't end in high school, because we have a lot of adults who act like children and they talk smack about each other. And even my daughter has been bullied here this last little while, and I actually had to pull her out of school for the last few months because it got to the point where she didn't even feel safe being at school. And it hurts, it hurts to see my daughter feel depressed because of the things that she's going through. And one of the things that I tell her, is that person who is bullying her is probably feeling so ugly inside that the only way she can feel better is to make other people feel lower than she feels. And I know it's not okay to, say that gives justification to the way that girl is treating her, but at the same time, she has to show a little bit of empathy because my daughter has a really good home. She has, a loving parent who takes really good care of her, and that other girl doesn't have any of that. She's kind of going through the same cycle I was going through as a young kid. And that's where I was hurting and I wanted other people to hurt too. Even I get cyberbullied still to this day. Ever since I became known online, it's always come in different forms. Different things have been said about me over the years. And in the beginning, I used to go and try and fight people because, that's just who I was. When I first started, I still had that hood mentality to go and, protect my rep and whatever. But one of my mentors told me, he's like, if whatever people say about you isn't true, he said, don't feed into it. He said, that's all they want from you is that energy. He said, don't give them that energy. That's for you. Only you and Creator know who you are, what you're about, and where you're going with your life. So just have faith, because people are going through their own things. So the effects of that can lead towards follower qualities. A lot of kids don't like to speak up and be their own person, depression, poor grades, don't even want to be at school, lack of self-esteem, afraid to be different. And it can lead towards suicidal thoughts. And like I was saying with my daughter, she's going through a lot of these things right now, especially becoming a teenager now, So just take time out of your life to talk to those little people that are around you, and give them you know, a good input of things that you've been through, because that's the best way to help somebody is relate your situation. Things that you've been through will help them see things differently. So we're kind of running out of time. I still have a lot of slides and I want to be more inspirational towards the end. So I'm going to kind of quickly just go through these parts. So at the age of 15, I was introduced to crystal meth. That's all it took, was the one time. Over here in Saskatchewan, this is a really big drug. It's taking the lives of so many people, not just, you know, physically, but like a lot of people are dying because of this drug. My older cousin, who I looked up to, not from the previous story, but another cousin actually just told me a few months ago that he was diagnosed with HIV. And, you know, that really hurt me to hear, you know, one of my role models say that the path he's chosen with crystal meth has led him towards that. And when I took this drug, you know, 9 days later, I'm still on this drug, and it like, that's all it took. That's how powerful this drug is. Eventually you can end up looking like friggin' Smeagol. Like, I'm not even trying to be funny or anything, but if you value your body, you know, my cousin doesn't look the same. My sister doesn't look the same. People I used to go to school with don't look the way they used to or should today because of this drug. So if you value yourself and everything that you have, you know, do your best to stay away from it. This video is gonna take too long, so I'm kind of just gonna skip through it. It's on my Facebook if you're looking. It's on my own. So I'm not gonna share my I'm not gonna share my heartbreak story, but I am just gonna give a little bit of advice for people who are in relationships or who are going through breakups right now. I know I'm probably the worst person to share relationship advice, but I do have a lot of experience, you know, and I can give a man's perspective on why things didn't work out the way they did. So at the age of 15, I met my daughter's mom. You know, 4 years later, I became a father. And it was really hard for our breakup. You know, I really lost myself. I feel like the more you give people and the energy isn't reciprocated, the less you feel afterwards. And that was a huge problem I've had my entire life, was always giving and giving and never receiving. But I think one of those problems also is expecting to receive something. You know, the more you fill up another person's cup, the less you will always have for yourself at the end of the day. So it's really important to take care of yourself first. It's really important to make sure that you're taking care of the best that you can be. And when I say that, I mean love yourself, love everything that you are, love every little aspect of your body, your mind, your spirit, you know. Whatever it is that you want to offer or have or receive from another person, give that to yourself first. Be okay with being alone. Spend countless hours learning who you are, read books, go for runs, you know, walks, talk to yourself, you know. Always give yourself that energy before you go and pass it to another person, because if you don't do that, at the end of the day, you're going to feel empty. And if you are in a relationship right now, do your best to be honest, to be loyal, to be faithful, to be kind, to be compassionate, you know, all those things you want, give that in return to your partner. And trust me, things will work out the way they're supposed to. I've been cheated on before, and I've been the cheater. So do your best to be loyal, to be faithful, kind, compassionate, all those good things you want. And someday, Creator will see all the hard work you put into yourself, and he'll send you someone to grow old and play bingo with forever. So at the age of 17, I ended up overdosing on cocaine. Probably one of the scariest moments I've been through. I did way too much. I wasn't used to, you know, doing cocaine. I was normally always selling it and stuff like that. But one night I decided to, you know, just take it. And they put me in the hospital. I ended up overdosing, and that was like a freaky moment for my life. And it didn't change me though, you know, but anxiety happened after that. I don't know if anybody's ever had a panic attack before, but shit's scary, man. The first time I had one, I was like, am I breathing? Panicking, It's like, I can't swallow, I'm freaking out. Like I just started like freaking. I just yelling at my mom, mom. She's like, what? It's like, I can't breathe. She's like, well, just breathe. And I was like I can't, you know, I was just freaking out. So she takes me to the hospital and I'm having like a panic attack, right? And they give me these little pills and they're like, take one of these, put it under your tongue, it'll dissolve. And I ended up getting addicted to these pills now. So now I'm a zombie. Now I don't feel anything. Every day I'm taking this pill because, you know, I'm having 10, 20 anxiety attacks. Every hour of the day I'm having a panic attack. And it got to the point where I couldn't sleep, I couldn't eat, I couldn't drink water, got really skinny, like just killing myself. So I decided I didn't want those pills anymore. I threw them away. And this is where depression kicked in so much that I felt the only way out of it was to die. I felt like I don't want to feel this pain no more. The only way I'm not going to feel it is if I'm not here, you know. And I feel like a lot of people think that way when they're going through, you know, suicidal thoughts, is the pain will end, but it doesn't end that way, you know. You're passing your pain on to another person. And I'm not saying people who have done it, who have completed it before, it's wrong, you know. They made their choice, but I'm telling you, living your life is a better choice for you. No matter how hard that shit is, you got to keep fighting through it. You got to keep working. You got to keep grinding because life is worth the fight. And you guys are going to go through moments. I still go through moments today, you know, just because I'm living a sober life and, you know, things are different doesn't mean I'm never going to stop feeling pain. I'm never going to go through things. You know, I feel depressed sometimes and that's okay. That's a part of life. That's a part of growing and becoming a healthier, happier person, is going through those ups and downs. But learning how to deal with it along the way is what makes things better, you know. One of the best things I could say to you guys, if you're feeling that way right now, is to just talk about it. And if you don't have someone to talk about it with, you always got Creator. No matter what, you always have your ancestors, even people who have passed away before. This elder told me, you can still talk to those people who have passed away. Ask them for advice, ask for a messenger, for help. That's all it is. So please don't give up on yourselves. Please don't ever leave this life, because you are needed here. And as big as this world is, with the billions of people on it, it's empty without you, because you're somebody's world, for real. You mean the world to somebody, so stick around. There's more fight left in you. This is my reason right here. I asked Creator for help. I said, you know, give me a reason to breathe. Give me some life. And he blessed me with a beautiful little girl. So January 23rd, 2008, my daughter was born. My birthday is January 24th. So we're one day apart. I remember telling her mom at the time, she was in labor, and I was like, can you keep her in, babe? Keep her in till tomorrow. Have her on my birthday. And she's like, you keep her in. Just, you know, just mad. So this little girl, man, she's changed my life in so many ways. She's actually down the hall right now. She's cleaning her room, like top to bottom, and it's cool to witness and watch her grow throughout the years, because she just turned 13 this year. So she's a little woman now, you know. She's becoming her own person, and it's been an honor to be her father as long as I have been. And if you do have children out there, we got to remember, you know, like, they don't belong to us. They're the Creator's kids. We're just here to help guide them, help love them, and, you know, show them they can be the best version of themselves. So I'm really grateful that my daughter, you know, has lived with me her whole life, that she chose me to be her dad. So my mom got all this residential school money right around the time that my daughter was born. She got thousands and thousands of dollars, man, from the residential school settlement. It was all gone. Within a few months, she spent all of her money on drugs and alcohol and just crazy stuff that doesn't matter. So she ended up getting really sick right around this time, not too long, maybe about 2 years after that, she got really sick. And my mom ended up telling me she caught HIV, you know. Probably one of the hardest things I ever had to do was, you know, we got into a really bad argument where I told my mom, I was like, get out of here. I was like, go die somewhere else. And like, I broke her with those words, man. Like I just hurt my mom so much. And me and her were like best friends, man. We could talk about anything. We just sit there for hours in silence, like how comfortable it was to just be around her. She looked at me and she said, all right. She's like, I won't bother you. She's like, I'll go die somewhere else. So she leaves, and we don't talk for a long time. She gets put into the hospital. She's there for like months, and I barely go and see her. And one day she's like sneaks out of the hospital and comes to my house, banging on the window, and I just look at her. She's wearing her little hospital gown and her little paper slippers they give you there. She's like, let me in. It's really cold and windy outside. I go let my mom in. Come inside. What are you doing? She couldn't even walk down a flight of stairs. She was so skinny. She was just like skin and bones. I had to carry my mom inside. Have you guys ever read the book? What's it called? It's like, I love you forever, my baby. You'll be. I don't know if anybody's ever read that book, but she basically carries him when he's a little baby, and by the end of the story, he's carrying the mom. And she passes away. And it reminds me of that story when I share this part of my mom's journey. So I made a promise to my mom that day. I said, I'm gonna be there for you. I'm gonna stop drinking. I'm gonna stop getting high. We're gonna get the kids back. We lost custody of the kids. And I was killing myself with alcohol because I didn't want to face the fact that my mom was dying. So I took her to the hospital at the end of July. And about a week later, I go and see my mom, and I'm all happy and excited. Mom, like, I've been sober all week. I'm just sharing all the good news with her. I was like, I got a job interview tomorrow. I talked to the kid's social worker. We're gonna have a visit set up once you're out of the hospital. And she's like, that's good. That's good. She's like, take me outside. I want to have a smoke. So I go outside and she's smoking. And I'm like excited. I gotta go home and get ready for tomorrow. So I'm like, all right, Mom, let's go inside. She's like, hold on. Like, just one more smoke. Holy man, settle down. I'm freaking up. So she has her last smoke and she's like, okay, I'm ready. I'm going inside now. So I go take her inside, and normally I'd like pick her up and I just like lay her on her bed and cover her up. But she's like, I don't want to lay down. She's like, I just want to sit here for a while. Like, okay. So I cover her up with her blanket. I give her a hug from behind. Love you, Mom. Come see you tomorrow. She looks back. Love you, my boy. See you later. And I walk away, never knowing that would be the last time that me and my mom ever spoke to each other. I get a phone call next day, and the doctor tells me, you have to come say goodbye to your mom. She fell out of her bed. She was so small and skinny that when she hit the ground, she ruptured her kidneys and her spleen, and she was bleeding internally. There was nothing they could do for her to save her. So I rushed to the hospital, and me and my brother are the only ones there. Like, go see Mom. I'm like, nah, like, that's not Mom. Just in denial, Go and see Mom, man. She needs you. I go talk to my mom, like, wake up, Mom. Let's go home. Promise you we're gonna die here. Let's go, Mom. Get up. Get up, Mom. And I'm just freaking out now. I'm screaming and crying and yelling, help her, help her. All my family comes. They take life support off of her. She's just fighting for every breath, man. My mom was a fighter. Like, she was kind, but she was also, like a little pit bull if you got on her wrong side. And she wasn't afraid to say how she felt, and I really love the qualities and characteristics and the traits that she's passed down and taught me over the years, I think being kind is probably one of the best things that she showed me over the years. My mom passed away that day on August 4th, 2011 at 2:33 p.m. She took her last breath. And I was holding her as she died. Now that I look at it now, I don't see the negativity behind it. My mom isn't suffering anymore. But in that moment, it's like, man, it's like so lost, so depressed, so hurt. And we all grieve differently, like everyone listening to this right now, you've all lost somebody. No one alive right now has ever not lost somebody that they cared about. And losing my best friend was probably the hardest thing I've ever had to do. And one of the worst things I did after that was drink. I tried to hide it. I tried to get rid of the pain the only way I knew how. Instant gratification. I need to not feel. So now I drink every day. Every day I'm drinking. It's like getting to the point where I'm throwing up blood. I'm hanging out with people who I think are my friends. This isn't what friendship looks like. Friends don't help you kill yourself. This is a bunch of sad people who don't want to admit that there's a problem in their life. you know? Friends help you succeed. Friends help you grow. Friends help you grieve, you know, the best way they can. They're there for you to listen, to help you. So be careful with who you surround yourself with, man, for real, because not everybody has the best intentions for your life. That's who I used to be. Looking at this picture now, it kind of trips me out. It's like, I remember that guy. I remember how sad he was. I remember how lost he was. I remember how he didn't want to say that he had a problem and pretend it was okay. It's crazy looking back at it. This is the destination I was heading. This is where a lot of my friends have died over the years and ended up in this spot. Drunk driving, taking pills, falling asleep, even choking on their own puke, freezing to death outside, getting stabbed or shot at a party. Man, I don't have enough fingers and toes to count everybody who's died over the years. I'm pretty sure we all know at least one person who's died because of drugs and alcohol. And I'm not here to tell you guys, you know, don't drink, don't do drugs. I'm just here to, like, this is the reality, you know, this is what happens. And I don't want this to happen anymore. Like, I want people to live long, full lives and be able to grow old and see their grandchildren succeed, you know? Like, we have so much to give this world. Like, why do we have to continuously kill ourselves or each other? So I decided to put an end to that life, you know. It took a long time, but one of the first things I did, people always ask me this all the time, man, like, how'd you get sober? And I don't have a formula for it because it's different for everybody. Like, I could tell you something and it might not work for you, but it might work for the person you tell, you know? Like, all I did was ask for help. I didn't ask another person in the world. I asked the creator. I just said, help me. I don't want to be like this. Like, I want to change. And little things will come into your life in different points. So I was offered the opportunity to go to treatment. I was like, man, I don't want to go to treatment, man. Like, that shit, that sounds like, I don't want to be there. You know, like, it sounded ugly to me. But I eventually gave in and I went to this place. And the first week I was just being a little asshole to everybody, man. Like, man, it sucks in here, man. Everybody's real old. Because I was only like 20, I can't remember how old I was, like 20 something. But everybody was like 30, 40, 50, like they were way older than me, right? So I was being a little jerk to everybody there for the first week. And I went to my counselor's room and I was like knocking on doors on the phone. I was like, hey, you know, just being like disruptive. And he's like, hold on. So he like finally gets off the phone. He's like, what? Like, what do you need? What do you want? I'm like, I don't want to be here no more. He's like, all right then. See the door? Go, leave. I'm like, kind of like took him back. I'm, what do you mean? Like, aren't you supposed to tell me to stay here? He's like, no. He's like, if you don't want to be here, go, leave, go and suffer some more. I'm like, holy shit, man, real deadly counselor, like, go and suffer some more. What do you mean? You know, like, I thought about it. I don't want to suffer no more, man. I've been suffering my whole life. So I'll leave tomorrow then, because it was like 3 hours from where I live. So I didn't have a ride. I thought he was like, please stay here and get better, you know, but he's just like tough love. So that night I went back to my room and I said those words again, man. It's like, help me. And I got the opportunity, you know. Next day, a new batch of people came in, 2 young people came in. I was like, yeah, what's up, man? Went up to the car or to the van and met them. I was like, my name's Mike, man. What's up? Like, come, I'll show you guys around. And I was excited. New young people were there with me. And I became friends with this one guy. His name's Cheyenne. And there's a little workout room downstairs. And I was like, man, we need to get into shape. And, you know, they don't let you have like protein shakes and stuff like that there. So it's like, grab your cup of milk, meet me downstairs. All right. Go downstairs and, you know, like I can bench like 150 pretty easily. So I put my weights on and I'm just like, you know, doing my set and I'm like, yeah, and I'm like testosterone just pumping. I put my set up. And he's like a little skinny guy. He's like getting ready. He starts putting a couple more 10s on each side. I'm like, bro, like you're not gonna be able to lift that. He's like, I got this, man. He's like, I'm solid. I'm like, okay then. So I go around the corner and I'm like lifting my dumbbells and I hear him like, and I'm like, oh, I'm pumped up still, right? I don't know if anybody's ever worked out before. When you get to that point where your blood's just rushing, you're like in the moment. I'm like, get it, bro, get it. And I hear him, he's like, help. the whole time I go rush around the corner, the whole time he wasn't even lifting it. It was just stuck on him. He's like, And he, like, the bar is just squishing his chest, man. I'm like, lift it up, lift it up, lift it up. And he's like, it's like, holy man. And I'm just laughing. He's laughing. He's like, look at him, man, you almost died. I know, hey. Like, you know, just one of those moments that kind of like solidifies a friendship. So I go back to working out, and he ends up telling me something that I haven't heard in a long time. You could tell I'm mad. I don't really like this place. And he's like, damn, bro, you gotta learn to love yourself, man. And my mom said those words years ago when I got my heart broken. Like, what? You know, I'm still full of testosterone. He thinks I'm trying to fight him. He's like, holy man, I said, love yourself. Like, how do you do that? Like, I don't know. He's like, go look in the mirror and say I love you. I'm like, that's stupid, man. It's not gonna work. So I go look in the mirror. I don't think he's watching me. He's over there. I love you. And he just bursts out laughing. He's just laughing. He's pointing at me, you know, just really gutting himself. Like, shut up, man. You told me to do that. You know, just really embarrassed myself. I felt so embarrassed. I go up to my room. Before I go to bed, I look at myself in my mirror and I'm like, I love you. And I start laughing. Like, it just so, like, it's so awkward to do it, right? Like, talk to yourself like that. I love you. Man, it's stupid. So I go to sleep. Wake up the next day. Love you, man. Have a good day. You know, like, still laughing because I'm not used to like hearing myself say that to myself. So every day gets a little easier. I love you. See you later, man. Have a good day. And I'm starting to get in a better mood, you know. Love you, man. Have a great day. See you later. I start hanging up little notes in my room, like little positive messages, like, you're awesome. You're handsome. You're amazing. You don't have a little panic bum. You know, just like things that make you feel better, you know, and inspire and empower yourself. So one day they ask us, you know, like, you got to talk about your childhood. Every day we have a circle group or whatever, and we talk and we share stuff. And that was the first time I ever told anybody about my life, was in that circle. And like, man, I was just in tears by the end of it. Everybody's hugging me. I'm like, man, feels like a weight is lifted off my shoulders because I finally said what was wrong with me, you know, what's been wrong. And every day that passed after that, I just started filling myself with more love. And I went back to my room that night. I didn't say I love you. Normally I'm like, I love you, good night. But I just like looked at myself. I was like, man, you've been through a lot of stuff. Like, you're still here though. That's good. And I started like getting, like, I could feel my tears coming, but it wasn't because I was sad. It was like, I looked at myself. I was like, man, I love you. Thank you, man. Thank you for staying here. Thank you for everything. Love you. I love you. Like, I felt love for the first time for me in my whole life in that moment. I love you. And just yell, I love you. My neighbor's like real thin wall. He's like, shut up, man. Love yourself tomorrow. So, you know, I go to bed, wake up the next day, a whole new, brand new person. Just like you can see in these pictures here, you know, it's like, that's how I used to be, so lost and depressed. But I changed my life. I changed my perspective, my view and my opinion, and everything changed because I learned to love who I am. So I've been sober for like 2008, like a long time, 9 years this year I'll be sober. That's crazy. You know, I never thought I would actually stay sober, but I'm proud I am. I'm proud that I got to continue walking this path. So never be afraid to walk alone down this road because the Creator is always there, you know. I started saying sober is sexy and people are like, what's that? What does that mean? And to me, it's like, I was always surrounded by darkness, by negativity and violence and drama, and addictions kind of fueled every part of that. So when I removed addictions from my life, it was like things got brighter, and that dark cloud that always surrounded me was now gone. And now I can shine. I can shine the way Creator intended me to, you know, because I don't have those things holding me back from what I want in life, you know, to be successful. And a lot of people think success is like money and fast, expensive cars and a big mansion. But you know what? All that money in the bank would never buy you love, respect, honor, all those things that are earned. You know, that fast car could never ever drive you away from any of your problems, especially if it's in here. And if you live in a mansion that's filled with nobody, imagine how empty you'd feel inside. So success to me will always be happiness. Ask yourself that tonight at the end of the day, before you go to bed. Say, how happy am I with my life? And if the answer is this much, there's a lot of things that you need to change and reevaluate about your situation, because things can be so much better for you if you want them to be. Talk about what you're going through. I don't care if it's to yourself or to creator or to a group of people or to just one person, but the more you talk about what you're going through, the better you're going to feel. Take a chance, man. Don't be afraid to express what's wrong in your life, because if you never admit there's a problem, you'll never find a solution to fix it. And dream. This is such an important thing for people to understand. One of the dreams I had is to go back to school. So I finally just got my final grades back. I started university a few years ago. I just completed all my courses this semester and I passed all of them. And I'm excited because I'm that much closer towards my bachelor's degree in Indigenous studies, and I'm minoring in business as well. So it kind of ties into what we're doing here. One of the dreams I have is to, provide awesome clothing. This is like one of the things I did last night, called smudge off the negativity. But I also have like the sober sexy clothing, and I just turned this room into like a little workspace. I'm waiting for my other bigger machine I just got, but there's like a little vinyls on the wall, some clothing there ready to be printed and shipped out. But if you guys have a dream in this life, if you want to be financially rich, maybe you want to travel the world, whatever it is that you guys want, you're the only person that puts a limit on that. You're the only one who sets that bar. And if you determine that that's as far as you're going to go, that's as far as you'll ever go. And if you say you can't make it to that point, you never will. A lot of dreams are already killed just by doubt, just from people saying, I can't. So start saying you can, and start putting the time and effort into whatever it is that you want, because that's the only way you're going to ever get better at doing whatever it is that you want to do. Some people are born and they're gifted with talent in certain areas of their lives. Some people are athletic, some people are musically, gifted, but some people have to work at it. Some people have to like grind hard, train, practice daily just to be, good. So do your best to put in whatever it is that you want. One of the dreams I had was to travel the world. This bald guy here kind of killed my picture, but I got to go to Hawaii. I got to like speak at the world's biggest Indigenous conference ever. And this was all free. Like I got paid to go to Hawaii. I got paid to just be there. Like who can say that? A couple of years before this, I was just a little hood kid killing myself with a bottle of alcohol, snorting cocaine, just treating myself and everybody around me like garbage, until I put that aside and I said, I want better. And everybody can have this. Everybody can go and do whatever they want to do if they set a destination, if they set, a drive and the determination to get there, they're going to get there. So I want to ask you guys, you don't have to answer this, but just think about it for yourself. Like, what is a warrior to you? A lot of people will be like, someone who fights for what they believe in, For me, it's many things, but the one that stands out a lot, we all fight battles every day, okay? Every single day we fight a battle that nobody sees, nobody hears, nobody feels but us. We have to look in the mirror and be okay with ourselves, right? So if you're still here today, that means that you're fighting. You're in that battle daily. So you're a warrior in my eyes if you're still breathing every single day. And if you're finding the courage to, smile, to help other people smile, to continuously grow and evolve and become the best version of yourself, that's a warrior. So continue being that warrior, continue fighting and inspiring others to live their dreams, and believe in yourself. That's how you get there. It's belief that you can be better, not better than anybody. I used to always compare myself to other people. This person has all this and I don't have that, and they got the perfect house and wife and whatever, until I stopped doing that and just tried to be better than the person I was the day before. That's when things changed. Because then I started to, push myself. Because I'm not competing with other people, I'm competing with me. That's what it is. So don't compete with anybody, compete with yourself and just be a better version of who you are every single day. and we're almost out of time. So I just want to leave a few moments left for like questions and stuff like that. If anybody wants to like ask some stuff. I saw a meme about this picture. It was like, when you're a strong Indigenous woman.
Thank
I
you,
was like,
Mike. Thank you so much. I'm going to open it up for anybody. Kiana, you had your hand up first, so if you wanted to ask a question, go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say that rap, that was dope. You got more?
yeah, there's some on YouTube. There's like, you know who Stress Street is?
I don't.
Just type in like Mike Scott. I know it should show up there. Should show up.
I
There's a
can
couple
also
of
put your
videos, like,
YouTube channel in
yeah.
on our page for everyone.
I'm new to music,
Yes.
though, so thank you.
Oh,
I've been making music for like a year.
okay. I'm so. Do you know the shit from the 902?
No, I don't know anybody out in that way, out east there.
Okay. Well, he raps in Waikago. I'm supposed to do a feature with him soon. Do you do features?
Yeah, I can do stuff like that. We just got a new Neumann U85, so our studio is coming together pretty good.
All right.
Check out
How much you guys?
I'm not charging anybody anything right now. I'm just, I feel like my brothers are always like, man, we gotta make money. I'm like, no, man, like you gotta build your fan base before you can make money. Like people don't just, it takes time, you don't want to just be like, boom, pop off. It's better to progress slowly as you go because you build your fan base and they're loyal. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, get my info from Kara and then send me a message and we can link up that way.
All right. Sounds good.
Sounds great. Anybody else have any questions?
Is there more people? I only see 3 people.
There's 19 people in here and we're live on Facebook.
Oh, cool. Oh, I didn't even see. I thought I was just talking to you 3 the whole time.
No. Anyone else? Come on.
People are shy.
Come on. Lacey, I know you always have questions. Come on. I'm going to put you on the spot.
I like your
Miss
panda.
Girl, I have 0 questions.
Oh,
not
no.
one.
Come on.
Okay, how about I have a question for you. What did you learn or take from this presentation that you can apply to your life to help you or others around you?
Well, I mean, like, I pretty much like resonate with your story. Like, not like I don't know, like, I took a lot away, but at the same time, I don't know how to put it into words. But yeah.
That's okay. Maybe
That's,
it'll hit you later.
yeah. That's a deep question, Mike.
That's what is this?
I do that to people all the time.
Yo,
We got a couple more hands up.
Okay, Cheyenne.
I have a question for you. Where do you see yourself going? Like, what's your next moves, or do you have any goals you haven't accomplished yet? And if you can just kind of outline like what you've done so far, just like as an answer, I guess.
Okay. So there's a few questions in there. I guess I'll start with like where I'm going, where I've been. For the last 8 years, I didn't realize it until just this year because of COVID happening that I can do a lot with clothing. Like I've sold thousands of sweaters and shirts over the years, but I realized like clothing is a big business, but it's also like there's a lot of people that are doing it now because of COVID. But I have a huge following, so I can reach a lot of people. So I think I want to focus a lot more on, selling merchandise, creating an online store. Like I said earlier, like money isn't everything, but it can help you accomplish your dreams faster, and it can take a lot of the stress off so you have more opportunity and time to focus on the things you do want to do. So I'm really glad that you guys are in a business class, because I do also believe that, financial security is going to help open the doors for opportunities for Indigenous people to grow. So I want to help eventually, create some kind of organization that gives back and funds Indigenous businesses so that we can start employing each other and taking over the world one res at a time. Something like that.
Cheyenne would never toot her own horn, but I do have to say that we have a really talented group in here. And Cheyenne just had a big announcement as well where you got signed to Nike as a beater. So yeah, really exciting. We're all excited. We're all like brag about Cheyenne being part of the In.Business program. He's a mentor and a rock star. And also, I have to just say that we also have Jamie, one of our youth, just won the biggest undergraduate prize to go into the science program. She won the Chancellor's Scholarship. So yay, Jamie. I know you're in here somewhere. So it's really exciting to see everyone, achieving these dreams that you're talking about and reaching, having goals. Yeah.
When
Anybody else?
When you get to that one dream and you accomplish it, don't stop there, because a lot of people do that. They'll finish one thing and then they'll be like, well, I'm good now. Just keep growing, man. That's awesome. Proud of you for achieving that Nike goal. I want some shoes now. You gotta send me a link so I can get some.
I'm going to get, so I'm going to tell you something right quick, but Jaden is going to do this thing and then we have a surprise, but we're going to send you something as well, Mike, as a thank you, but it'll be a surprise. So you can just wait for it in the mail, but I'm going to get Jaden to help us out here. We just did a challenge. It was challenge number 9. And so they're going to hear who won, but the challenge, she'll explain it, but they could win a MacBook. And this was from Union of Nova Scotia Mi'kmaq was the sponsor, and the runners up could win an iWatch. And everybody who was in there is going to win something, but those are the top 3. But I'm going to, or top 3. So I'm going to get Jaden to tell everybody a little bit about what it was. You ready, Jaden?
I'm ready. All right. Hi, everyone. Nice to see everyone. So I was trying to find like the best way to explain what the challenge was, but it was basically just a challenge to help us understand what comprehensive community planning was. And we did that in the form of, there's a handbook that was not emailed to us, but it was mailed to us that we could kind of read through and look through. And then there was a series of questions. I think it was 4 questions were posted, and we just kind of answered those in the best way we could. The most creative way was kind of how it was judged. So I think it was a really good challenge because it showed us how we could implement like different projects into our communities in a way to better the future for our community as well as like people in the community. So yeah, that's pretty much all it was. It was really
Thank you, Jaden.
Awesome.
So the winner is Jaden.
Oh my God, thank you.
And the runners up. So second was Jamie. And then Raylyn, you both won the iWatch. So woohoo!
Nice.
And everybody who submitted is going to win something. But those are the 3 winners up, and everyone did a great job. So we set you up there, Jaden.
Super dope.
I kind of thought you did. I even told my mom, I was like, maybe she did set me up for that.
I'm evil that way.
Well, I have a quick question for you guys before I go, just so I can get more input to help do what I do. But I just wanted to know, since you guys are in business, and I just wrote a paper on business ethics and that kind of stuff for people, and especially Indigenous people, as being young entrepreneurs, I want to say, like, what do you guys feel is going to help better your community? What kind of jobs are going to help better your community for the next generation and your generation and the next generation that are coming up? It's a hard question, but what kind of jobs do you guys feel?
Listen, yo, that fishing industry, dog, is big on the reserves. I'm telling you right now, lobster and crab, all that good shit.
We don't got no crab and lobster over here. You gotta go Red Lobster to get that though.
And it doesn't taste anything like it does down here.
Yo, didn't you guys just like buy out that like half of it or something like that?
That was Member 2, right?
Yeah, Member 2.
Yeah, Member 2. They bought
Clearwater.
$2 million worth of something of area and up in Halifax. Yeah, that's what. Yeah, they spent like $2 million or something on. What was that place called? It was right up by Derby.
But they bought a lot of shares to that company, so they own like half of it now, right? So what other kind of jobs?
Yeah, they own like Yeah, because they own like pretty much the whole industry now.
Yeah, there was a lot of negative things going on with that, I saw. So I'm glad that got settled out. Now they're the bosses and landlords.
One thing I'm seeing,
Oh,
Mike,
yeah.
is there's a lot of entrepreneurs. There's a
Yeah.
lot of people starting their own businesses, which I think is really cool. And you see it happening here. Like even if you come into Member 2 and you just see the community, and even across Nova Scotia and Mi'kma'ki, like I'm just seeing all these amazing entrepreneurs and social enterprises and lots of people, like you said, hiring each other,
Yeah,
like Ulnaweg, and just so many cool things happening.
it's pretty awesome, man. I'm excited for our next generation to, take on this role. Like there's like so many different people here are probably doing different things. I can just tell, like this guy he's looking into like the fishing industry. Someone's getting into Nike, already got into Nike. Man, I'm like such a big shoe collector, especially Nikes and
That's my
Jordan. So
son.
that's why I'm like, what? Beaded ones? I'm gonna be like, I know her. I talked to her a long time ago and I got her shoes. Like that's dope, man. Like just to see that kind of accomplishment. And like I'm sure all of you guys are doing amazing things. And I'm really happy for all of you.
I absolutely love your smudge off shirt.
Thanks. I just
Like-
thought about it last night. I was like, smudge off.
I love it. In Grand Prairie, all the youth council used to make like glass with the smudge stick and it would be like break glass for emergency.
Yeah.
I just loved that. It was so good. And I remember one day when I was up there last February, I'm like, does anyone have those glass things? I need some smudging quick. So I loved it. I'm like, I need a smudge off shirt. That's great. Well, thank you so much, Mike.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. And everybody, congratulations, everybody and with your challenges, we're all here to support you. You're all doing a great job. And these are weird times. So we're all here to support everybody in everything. So thank you, everyone. And if you want to touch base with Mike, I'm sure he wouldn't mind, like if I chat with you and if anyone has any further questions that you didn't think of right away, I'm sure I can pass those on.
Yeah. Some
And
people are
yeah.
shy to talk in front of other people. So if you have a
Absolutely.
question, if you want to write it down and ask later, go ahead.
Thank you so much. Take care, everybody. Have a great night. Walalayo.